Hi, this is Carol Ansbach, and today we're going to go over the procedure for making the strong acid water at 2.5 pH range and the strong alkaline water at the 11.5 pH range that our technology, that's the Enagic SD501 water processor. It's also the same procedure for the DX2 model or the Junior 2 model. So if you have either of those, you can use the same concepts that I'm going to be showing you here. So I made this video because it took me a little while to get used to this myself. It is something you kind of have to get right, is what I found. So having said that, first thing I do is I remove the cover here where you can see the chamber of salt water. Basically that's all it is. I'm trying to remove it from the chamber. You can see that's all it is really. And you need those extra chloride ions that are in the salt water to make that really strong acid water. So the reason I remove it is because even though there's a little window here, I can't tell by that. I can't see the little red ball here to see the level that I have. So I always remove it to make sure that I have enough salt water in the chamber. Then the next thing, of course, is to make sure the machine is set down here on the strong acidic water setting, and it will tell you that. So that means that you'll be getting the strong acidic water out of your gray secondary hose here, which I'm going to move over here closer to the action, and you'll see that in a minute. So of course now I need my collection containers, and in a minute you'll see how they're set up. But I have the one for the alkaline water up here at the level of the machine, and I'll have the acidic one down here at the level of the sink, inside the sink. And here's the hose. So hang on a second and we'll show you all that. So the first thing that I would do is you start your the water flow. Let me see here. And you want to start it vigorously. And of course the machine will beep and tell you that that's the setting you're on. And I let it run for maybe 5 seconds or so, very strong like this. Now here's where you really want to know how to do this. Then you start backing the flow way down. See, you can see it's really a little more than a trickle, and I'll even take it down to the point where the machine will tell me that I need to increase the flow. So you hear that? So then you just want to bring it up a little bit more so it stops that. Alright, so you can see very light flow, and then I take that and I put that over here so it starts to collect. Now at the same time you have what's the beginning of the strong acidic water, if I can get that container to stay up, but you don't want to start collecting this right away because you can see it's got a lot of hosing to get through, and not only that, but the gravity in the situation is such that I'll even shake the hose a little, make sure there's no air bubbles, and I won't start to collect it for at least 20 to 30 seconds, and I usually even will taste it ahead of time to make sure that it's ready. So right now I'm just going to assume that it's ready, and stick that in. In fact, I could smell it a little bit, so you can even smell it if it's ready. It'll have that kind of bleachy smell. So nope. Yeah, now it's telling me it wants me to increase the flow a little bit. There we go. So that's what you want. You want it to go as slow as you possibly can without, without the machine telling you it needs to go higher. And now you can see how this setup is. You can see that my strong acid container is lower. That's so that we have the advantage of gravity for all that hosing that has to go through at a very low gravity, a very low water pressure, let's put it that way. And then of course we're collecting the strong alkaline water here. Now the strong alkaline water container will fill faster because there's about a 2/3 to 1/3 ratio. That's how the waters are being split apart in this process. So now I'm just going to let this video run for a while until we just about get this container here filled. And let me see how we're doing here. It's getting there. So in the meantime, I hope this is clear to you what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And it's really, like I said, it's a little tricky, but once you get the hang of it, it's very easy. Just takes a few minutes to do. So let me see how we're doing here. I'm also actually getting more of the alkaline water because this is actually a bigger jug than this one. So I'm tricking you a little bit there. Alright, so I'm going to just figure that we're about where we need to be. So all you do to stop this process, of course, is, shut the water off. Now as soon as you shut the water off, the machine said notice of cleaning, which is a good thing. But first thing you want to do is take this out of the acid water container because it'll keep on draining, you can see, and as it drains it'll get more dilute, so you don't want to dilute your strong acid water. Plus I would cap it right away, and I'll explain that in a minute. So I'm putting a cap on it too, and then we'll get back to that in just a minute. So back here now, as you can see, the machine's saying notice of cleaning. It told me that. But here's a very important point about this. The machine won't always put itself in cleaning mode when you turn off the faucet, when you're done making this water. So you have to be sure that you always put it through a cleaning process directly after you make these waters. And the way you can do that if the machine doesn't notify you that it needs cleaning is just to change the setting. So you could change it back to maybe one of your... Notice of cleaning. See, it'll tell you again, notice of cleaning. So just set it back to the Kangen water setting or whatever. And I'm going to put my acid hose back to where it usually is, over here in the corner of my sink. And I'm going to go ahead and put it through a cleaning cycle. Okay, and the reason you really want to clean it right away after you've made this water is because the water has gone over those plates super slow, so you know it's liable to have more what's that stuff I'm thinking of, just the stuff that's in the water that will cake onto the plates. Sorry, I can't think of the name. So you really want to get that off of there and not have it sit on the plates. Okay. Now, here's one way you can know that you've got a good strong batch of the 11.5 water. And you can see I have a glass down here. And this is sesame oil. I put a little in here already, but I'll put some more. Okay, so we'll pour some of this water I just made into this sesame oil. And you can see that it's emulsifying. It's turning it white. I don't know if you can see it very well this way. My lighting maybe leaves a little to be desired. Anyway, it definitely emulsified the oil, so that's one way you can tell that you got a good strong batch of the 11.5. And now when we go over here and I take the cap off my other 2.5 acidic water, I'll smell it. Ooh, yes indeed. You always want to make sure that that's fumy. You want, as soon as you start to take a little sniff out of that 2.5 acidic water, you want those fumes to just hit your nose. They're almost kind of peppery. And then you know that you have a good strong batch of the 2.5 acidic water. Okay, so I believe that's what I wanted to show you today. I'm going to put this back on here because we're finished with that. And very good. Probably see you again sometime for some other instructional video. Bye.